few months ago at the Alliance Council in Orlando, President Stumbo told us this. He said, if there's one thing that people really hate, it's making changes. And the job of leaders is to help people do the things they really hate to do. These changes that we're talking about are really not new. These ideas began to be circulated among the elders and the leadership of the church a couple of years ago. We had elder meetings where we sat at a table like this for hours, praying and asking God to give us guidance on how we could better fulfill our ministry and be the kind of church that produces real disciples. And by disciples, we mean one who is totally committed to following Christ, becoming like Him in supreme love to God, in selfless love for others, and in sacrificial love for the world. We were doing well in some aspects of ministry, but in other aspects we weren't really developing disciples the way we needed to be doing it in order to fulfill the Great Commission. We wanted to see these qualities of a disciple being molded and shaped into the lives of people as a part of our fellowship here. We wanted to see them connecting to Christ, that is, having a personal commitment to Him in such a way that we could serve Him and love Him with all of our hearts. We wanted to see them growing with others, living out our love for others in community with them. And we wanted to see them engaging the world. That is, showing our love locally and globally by willingness to sacrifice for the cause of Christ. Finding the best way to implement the program of developing disciples isn't always easy, and it will involve more changes. Changes are sometimes hard to adapt to, aren't they? We all have some problems with that. Remember the children of Israel, when Moses led them out of Egypt into the wilderness. They just complained and complained about all the challenges that they faced, all the changes they had to make. And pretty soon they were saying, let's go back to Egypt. We were much happier the way it used to be. Well, sometimes we feel that way too. Looking at the platform behind me, there used to be an organ right here. I loved that organ. I really appreciated organ music. Now it's gone. We have other instruments that have replaced that. Well, I could say, but I loved that music. I don't want to change. I don't want to have anything different. You notice something about the pronoun that I used in each one of those sentences? It's I, isn't it? I. That's self. That's not the kind of love we want to develop as disciples. Change sometimes means accepting things that we don't really enjoy. Change can mean giving up some of our personal preferences. But when we do these things, we are allowing God to work in our lives the kind of selfless love for others, the kind of love that makes us commit to Jesus wholeheartedly, the kind of love that lets us reach out to others, so that even though our personal ideals are not being satisfied, we're more concerned about reaching others with the good news of Jesus Christ than we are about satisfying ourselves. In the next few months, we will be presenting a series of videos brought by the elders to you, each one developing further one of these aspects of how we can build a better ministry to create discipleship in a much deeper and fuller way in our congregation. Through this process, we want to be able to better fulfill the commission Jesus gave to us, to make disciples of every nation. So, there are a few questions I want to leave with you here. Will we focus on how God wants to use these changes to make us better disciples of Jesus? And will we also focus on what God needs to do through us to reach, to train, to develop other disciples so that we can fulfill that great commission that He's given to us? Will we joyfully cooperate with our leaders as we willingly make sacrifices in order to achieve these goals of discipleship?